All right. What is going on, my man? How are you doing?
What's happening? I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
Man, we already got some people in the chat here. Who we doing well, doing well. We already got some people in the chat. So we got what Tangent Trails, Tanya, Jason, Doc. I mean,
What's up,
we're already kind of that's awesome. Hey, so I have some breaking news right now.
Hey, dude, before you go any further, you have an echo. You need to turn.
Oh, okay. That just started, didn't it?
There.
Okay.
Okay.
Is it any better?
Yes, it's better.
Okay, cool. Hey, so I got to launch something tonight. We have Tanya in the chat right now. And as you know, Tanya actually has a really cool Etsy, right? So vegan-free soap, just fantastic product. You're right there, my man. You look like you just seen a ghost.
Sorry, it wasn't you. It was me. It's not you. It's me, Jeremy. I had the echo, not you. I failed. I'm going home now. Oh wait, I am home. I'm going away now. It's all good. We're good now. Continue on with what you were saying.
All right. So what we got now, so Tanya has this really cool Etsy, right? It's the Water Maple soap company. So I kind of put her on a project, and dude, she just got it done and actually launches the same time on her Etsy. So be sure to check that out. If you want to bring up the website, go right ahead. But she is making a soap specifically for the Inside Out live stream in the form of Sasquatch. So check this out. Isn't that awesome?
Oh, I see it.
So it has a little Sasquatch on it.
Yeah, let me
Dude,
let
it
me
smells
pull
fantastic.
Up her website. What's the smell?
Oh,
like?
absolutely, absolutely. It smells like a Sasquatch that just took a bath, I would say. I mean, I don't know, but yeah. Check that out, man. Isn't that awesome? So she has these limited right now. So she doesn't have very many, but she's going to have more on the way. She was really excited about getting some of these out. And I was actually excited too. So I definitely wanted to bring it up, but there's only a few right there, but there's going to be more coming. But this stuff smells incredible. Like I know, like what kind of got me started on that was your Campfire Cat Holes soap.
Yeah.
I bought that from her. There was the coffee soap that she had. I mean, everything that she does is absolutely fantastic. And it's natural oils. It's not toxic.
So Tanya, make some extra ones to give away and the giveaway at the spring meetup if you would. You got time,
Heck
but
yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I think later on we're probably going to go and see if maybe I can give one of these away and one of these away. If you guys are following me on Instagram, we'll see if we can't make that happen. But I had to get that out there real quick. So I thought that was super, super cool. So thank you, Tanya. Make sure to go check out her Etsy. We'll put a link in the description. And we can't wait to see more of those coming out. So dude, it smells fantastic. Absolutely.
Yeah, I
fantastic.
want one now. I want to smell like Squatch.
Smell like a Squatch. That needs to be the catchphrase. I'm digging that. So, but it actually looks really cool. So she put a lot of work into that. So very, very cool. But now enough with that. We've got a really, really cool guest tonight. I'm really excited to talk to him. A guy that is another line of royalty in Kentucky. Just a great, great dude. So I got to hike with him a few times. He's just one of I almost want to call him the three wise men of Kentucky. He's number 2. So we got another guy here. So let's bring on Mr. Jeremiah Stringer.
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Bam.
That's fun to me. The three wise guys. Who's the third?
I was just going to ask the same thing.
Who's these wise guys?
He'll be announced here a little bit later because he's going to be on the show also.
Oh, all right.
How you like that?
Chris is like, what? That? I'm the producer. He's like, what? Who are we having on?
Probably ought to tell your producer.
Chris has my Chris has my Google password, but he doesn't know the guest, I guess.
Oh,
awesome.
man.
How you doing, my man?
Hey, dude, I'm doing Fantastic, man. Can't complain. It doesn't do any good anyway, but yeah, just living life, trying to get outdoors as much as I can.
Does it feel weird to be on this side of it since you guys are always doing your streams?
Now it feels good, man. We do a little show too, and I do prep work for that show.
Yeah.
And for this, all I gotta do is show up. It's always refreshing to, just appear.
Yeah. Very cool.
That's awesome. Yeah, a little show actually. It's like what, number 2 of all backpacking shows on as far as on podcasts. Is that right? Are you number 2 now or number 1?
Well, I'm not sure how reputable whoever ranks those are. I mean, I would like to think that they are top tier, and it's like the Michelin of ranking podcast. But it could just be some random guy or girl that bought a URL and is like, you know what, I really am into listening to podcasts. I think I'm going to rank them and then make a little money off my website from advertising.
Yeah.
Could be that too.
Well, you're number 1 in our hearts, Jeremiah. You and JK both. So if you haven't ever caught the backpacking podcast, from day 1, you guys have just had this chemistry, and it just catches fire. Like it's just such an enjoyable conversation to listen to. You guys go back and forth, and you guys always have top-notch guests, just completely engaged. It's an easy listen. So shout out to the backpacking podcast. I'm sure most people here has seen it. If you haven't, oh man, please go check it out right now. Leave a 5-star rating, please. Give it a thumbs up. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So you know what else is 5-star, Jeremiah? So I got to tell you, in Indiana basketball or Kentucky basketball, who's better?
Oh my gosh, dude. I almost asked historically speaking or right now, but the answer is going to be the same. Go Big Blue, baby. Go Cats.
Hey, as long as it's not Ohio State or Michigan State, I'm with you. I can go Big Blue as well as yeah. So I got something prepared here. I got to tell you, the long question of the internet is who would win in one-on-one would be, in basketball, Todd versus Jeremiah. So that question's probably never going to get answered now that I'm forced to retire since my leagues are done. So, but
no,
I think
we can bring you out of retirement, man.
Yeah, that, you know what? Actually, I would for you, buddy. I 100% would for you.
I think a Miguel's rematch is what you need right there.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
me and Jeremy, we were on a trip one time. I think we played to like 2 or 3. And he hit a 3-pointer and just drilled it. So technically, Indiana right now is up 1-0 on Old Kentucky, but there's a vengeance coming, my friend.
Well, you also won up on cornhole.
Oh, we have forgotten cornhole. I don't know. There's something about Indiana folk. They get a couple drinks in them, and for some reason, they just cannot miss at cornhole. I just don't get it.
Oh, I'm telling you. So I'll tell you this much as far as for basketball, though, that 3-point goal or the limit, to win or whatever, that was actually strategic. I'll tell you that much. Cause I was like, okay, I think we counted 3-pointers as 2. So I'm like, man, I just had the biggest Miguel's breakfast burrito in my life. I literally want to throw up right now. There's no way I could play basketball. It's like, okay, 3, I just got to hit 2 shots. Perfect. Let's do that. So if it would have went to 5, I was done. But I've got a fun fact for you here, buddy. Yeah. I believe you'll get vengeance, no doubt about it. But I got a fun fact for you here. I got a list of famous Kentucky basketball players, and I'd like to actually go through that list with you right now. We're going to compare Indiana versus Kentucky and see who has the better list. How about that?
Yeah, dude, let's do it. That's wild.
Anthony Davis. Half of these I didn't know. Devin Booker, John Wall. I don't know who John Wall is. Do you know him?
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
John Wall, dude. John Wall brought in the Calipari era at Kentucky and made us cool again. I mean, he was one of the fastest players to ever play at Kentucky. He's a great man. I remember him hitting a shot over Ohio State.
Awesome.
Carl Anthony Towns, number
Okay.
one pick. De'Aaron Fox, another speed goat. Jamal Mashburn. Well, he's a little before my time. I was born in 1992.
Yeah,
DeMarcus
that was my
Cousins.
era right there, buddy.
That's old Boogie Cousins there, man.
Let's see, Dan Issel.
Nice. How many years did he play in the league? Is he still playing? He's not, right?
Who are you talking about?
You talking about DeMarcus?
Go back up, Chris, to 7. Yeah.
Yeah, DeMarcus Cousins. He doesn't play in the league right now. I think he's playing across seas, but he tore his Achilles, and he's so big it's hard to recover from that. You're never fully the same once you get one of those. Look at Klay Thompson. I mean, he's not the same Klay Thompson he was before he tore his Achilles.
And then how do you pronounce that?
Well, some people say Rajon, some people say Rajon, but he's awesome too. He won championships with the Celtics, the big three there: Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen,
Shai Gilgeous.
That's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's a Canadian guy, and actually, he's really good, man. Canada won the FIBA World Cup. Bam Adebayo plays for Miami. He's awesome, man. He's like a better version of Dwight Howard. If you could see his shoulders in that picture, you'd be like, gosh, this guy's a beast. Jamal Murray, another Canadian guy. He won a championship. Pat Riley. Yeah. Well, he coached. Big time coach.
Yeah.
Julius Randle.
This goes to 50, by the way, so this will be the whole show.
Yeah. I say we can stop at 15.
Dude, let me tell you how much I love Kentucky basketball. So we had on guest on Monday night. We had Jason Wish, Jeff Garmeyer on the Backpacking Podcast, and I had a buddy called me at like 12:30 p.m. and said, "Hey man, it's opening tip-off tonight for UK, and I got tickets. Do you want to go?" And I was like, "Man, we have live stream tonight." I said, "What time's the game start?" He said, 8:00. I said, "Oh, that's the same time as the live stream." So I said, "Let me call my co-host and talk to him, see if he can handle the show without me." And I did, and he was able to, and had to rearrange.
That's why you ducked out?
Oh, yeah. Because would you say
you were injured?
No, injured. What injury wouldn't matter?
I don't know. I just thought you were like sick or something.
No,
Jeremiah's stuck in the woods. He hasn't made it back yet.
No, man, you cannot pass up free ticket. We sat in section 29, which is like it's behind the visitors bench in row A. How can you pass that up?
Yeah, you can't pass it.
Hanging out with your friends. And I was off work on Tuesday because it was election day. So, I was like, it doesn't matter what time I get home. I could stay out and watch this game. And I was going to hop on the live stream, but I was watching the game.
Tanya, you didn't have
Oh, look at Tanya. She's poking me.
Oh, that's hilarious. So I got to tell you, now I got another list for you. Now these are actually, now you've seen the last one, that's Sean Kemp. Now he wasn't actually from Kentucky.
Well, you don't
so
have
do
to
you know where he
Kentucky.
was from, right?
Where?
No. So what I'm going to bring you up a list, and let's just bring up the Indiana actual basketball players list. Okay. These are actual guys from Indiana. And let's just check out some of the legends that are Hoosier blood. Of course, number one of the best, greatest of all time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, look,
Oscar Robertson. Now, Sean, he's actually from Elkhart, Indiana. And fun fact about Sean Kemp. So back in the day when I actually played basketball, so I got invited to a big camp. It was called 5-Star Basketball Camp. So it was a big invitation only national. It was out in Pennsylvania. So I got to go out there, and I actually played basketball with Sean Kemp's nephew. He was actually at the camp, which was really, really cool. I mean, it was a great experience, but George McGinnis, Glenn Robinson, Zach Randolph,
Yeah,
Scott Skiles,
Gordon Hayward,
Gordon Hayes,
Eric
Eric Gordon. I
Lawrence
didn't know he
Gill,
was
yeah.
from Indiana, actually.
So these are Indiana's top products as basketball players, right?
NBA players, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. As someone, yeah. And again, kind of similar to the backpacking podcast. I'm sure someone that might have just wanted to create a list.
Wait, look at
Cheney. Oh, he was
Bain.
fantastic. Yeah, he's one of Bobby Knight's guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
Desmond Bain, do you see his wingspan? He's like one of the only NBA players that has a shorter wingspan than height. Yeah, his body's weird looking.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, it's odd.
Huh. So
by the way,
bottom line is though, when I
was going to say we got to give props to Bobby Knight, who recently passed.
Yeah, R.I.P. Bobby Knight.
Absolutely,
he was a goat
for sure.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I quit watching IU when he left.
Me too.
Good. So, actually, when I went out to that basketball camp, it was funny. They had the coach from the Cleveland Cavs at the time, and I'm trying to remember his name, but it slipped my mind. But one of the things he talked about is, and it specifically came out in one of these, meetings that they had or exhibits, that he was talking about why is the heartland of America so good at basketball. It's like, you go to Kentucky, I'll even say Ohio and Indiana, and it's like they just produce such good basketball players compared to a lot of the rest of the country. And he was talking about try driving a countryside and not seeing a basketball goal in some of these places. You won't do it, versus some of the other states that's not their main goal. But I thought that was really cool. So definitely props to Kentucky basketball, even though I'm a Hoosier at heart. But it definitely always a fun rivalry.
The reason is corn.
Corn.
Yeah, it's either that or I got to work in the garden. What am I going to do?
It's these corn-fed individuals who then go play basketball.
Yeah, that's funny. Now, have you always been like super big into sports, Jeremiah? Or like almost at a scholar level? I mean, because it seems like you're just almost a student of multiple sports.
Well, I'll tell you, I probably just like you, I grew up with a basketball goal in the in the driveway. So you grow up and you play against your friends. Maybe your dad shows you a few things. You might play against him some. And then I think I joined high school football like 10th grade. And at the time I was probably like 270, 275. And, they wanted to keep me big, but just like playing football and stuff, you lose some weight. I dieted a little bit, got down to like 245 and then started getting recruited actually a little bit at the smaller level. Wow. To play. And I decided to not do sports in college. And, I played pickup basketball and, you play like your intramural sports. You can play ultimate frisbee, you can play flag football, you can play literally anything that you want.
Ping pong.
Get ping pong. I took a badminton class and walking class for PE. You got to have 2 credits in college. So
there's a class for walking.
Yeah. I'll tell you a funny story about it if you want.
That's how you got started hiking then, right? You learned in your walking class.
I have a PhD in backpacking.
Well, I'll tell you what I do. I took this walking class and it's taught by Tracy Lane. She's the same person that taught my badminton class. She was this Australian middle-aged lady. And her class met under the football stadium for walking class. That was, I don't know, there's like classrooms and stuff down there. The athletes have mandatory tutoring and stuff so many hours a week. And then her other classroom for badminton was at like the exercise center on campus. So we would all meet down there in the classroom under the stadium, modern classroom. I know you're probably imagining a basement or something.
One room schoolhouse.
No. It was a regular classroom. This is at WKU. And some days the whole class would have to walk together. So she'd either take us walking around the campus or she would take us to the track indoors if the weather wasn't good. But some days we would have a free day for walking, and if your class meets 3 days a week, maybe you have like 1 day a week that you can do a free walk. So she said, there's no textbook required. All you have to buy for this class is a pedometer. I was like, okay. So I went to Walmart and bought me like a $3 pedometer. You're supposed to clip it on your belt or whatever, and then it counts your steps as you walk. So she says, your assignment today is a free walk around campus, but you have to record X number of steps. And so I'll tell you what I did. After we left the classroom, I got directly on the bus and rode it back to my dorm room. And then we fired up the at the time it was a PS3, I guess, and played NBA 2K. We played some FIFA, some UFC, whatever. And our friends, we take turns either shaking the pedometer, you just shake it back and forth and it counts a step, or you can like clip it on your ankle on your shoe and just bounce your leg, So if you got one of those friends with nervous energy, you can get you about 5,000 steps.
Hey, Jimmy's got ADHD. Let's go.
Yeah. Clip it on the dog. At one day I tried to rig it up to like a fan, and I couldn't I couldn't get it to work right and count the steps, So then at the end of class, you had to like go back and check back in with her. So, I played video games for 30, 45 minutes, walk back over, and she'd record how many steps you had. And that's at state school, kids go to state school.
So was that,
find a way.
Was that your final exam? Is that how that worked? Like, what's the final exam for in a walking class?
I'm not sure it's required for PE, honestly. Okay. I don't know. Oh, actually, I remember the final exam. The final exam for badminton was if you had been there every meeting for the whole semester, then you didn't have to do the final. And the final was a written final, but you had to take it like on the floor at the exercise center, just like on the basketball court where the badminton's set up. You're just like literally laying there on the floor and filling out this packet of the rules for badminton. Like, how far is it from the net to the end? How does the points work, etc. For the walking class, the final exam, she made you go to the exercise center and you had to walk however many laps it was around it had like an elevated platform with the track around it. So you had to walk however many laps it was to make a mile up there. And she had to time you. And so you had to finish under a certain time. And I was like, all right. So I speed walked. You ever seen those videos of the guys in the Olympics doing the speed walking? Yeah. Their hips are like all crazy. Yeah. I was trying to do that, man. I think I got a 12-minute mile on walking that. So I was like, that's not bad. Doc Watson to walk. Hop, skip, put one foot in the other. That'd be a ridiculous final exam.
Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. So crazy. Well, it's funny just because ever since I've known you, you've always seemed to have a deep passion for sports. And I was digging up some Jeremiah videos, and I happened to come across your very first video on YouTube. And I got to share this with everybody because I thought it was like the coolest video for your first. Honestly, I thought that when I think about like my first video, and I'm sure a lot of people think this, it was terrible. So I mean, there was nothing good about it. The edit was terrible. Just everything was not good. But I'm looking at yours, and I'm like, this is actually solid. Can we bring up Mr. Jeremiah's very first video on YouTube?
Prep Force.
Oh,
check this out.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
There goes our copyright.
Oh my God.
What is that you, Jeremiah?
Oh, thanks, Chris. Oh, that's fantastic. So, but honestly, you had to go through a lot of work to probably look at all those clips. So I'm definitely giving you props on that. So was that something you were interested in? It was like maybe getting into sports casting or some type of videography for sports?
That is so hilarious, dude. No, I wasn't interested in that. But I'll tell you this. I did take a class in high school called Sports Across the World. And, we done all kinds of stuff, everything from going out and kicking field goals, during school. One time they took us to the driving range to golf. They took us to the tennis courts, took us to the basketball courts. And I did actually take one session with the guy where you had to do, like high school basketball, like you got the play-by-play and then the color commentary. Well, he came and showed like clips of our Lady Cardinals at the time, my high school, we're the Cardinals. And he showed like this video of like the first quarter or whatever, and you had to do the play-by-play while he done the color commentary. And there's literally no audience, it's just you and him and microphones, just fake calling it. So no, after that experience, and I guess editing the video that you just saw, I kind of lost a passion for it.
I'd rather do the color commentary, to be quite honest.
It's fun.
Yeah,
it would be fun. That would be fun. So, okay, so getting to you now as a YouTuber and also a teacher, how's that work out for you? I mean, do you have a lot of students that actually watch your YouTube videos, or do you like, hey, bonus points for giving me a thumbs up on my videos? Or I mean, how does that working out for you? I mean, I think that's kind of cool, just being, kids can maybe learn something else about you.
Yeah, that's the main thing. The kids, I see a cycle. I've been teaching now for 9 years, and I'm still a pretty young guy. So you can relate to the kids fairly well, more whenever I was like 20, early 20s. But, the kids, if you ask them, like, what do you want your job to be? Used to be, it was like, firefighter or astronaut or whatever, and now it's, some kind of influencer, whether it's a TikTok star, they want clout basically. Yep. And, they'll get real excited, whenever you first tell them. But I tell them explicitly, you're not going to care about the YouTube that I'm doing. Like, everybody likes their own stuff. Some people like to watch body cam for cop videos. Some people like to watch driving videos. Some people like to watch sports highlights. Maybe some people like the makeup tutorials. It just depends on your niche, And I was like, you all, Chris, on the makeup. I tell them mine's all about hiking and backpacking and outdoors, camping, that kind of stuff. And you guys are more into video games and, sports and sitting around watching Netflix and being lazy. You're not going to care for my videos. But there has been a few that have come to me, whether they've graduated now and, it's been in the past, or whether it's current students, that they'll come up and be like, hey, I went camping because I watched your videos, or,
awesome.
I'm trying backpacking, or I want to hike the AT, or, whatever. It's just really cool to see that. But to answer your question, I don't give them bonus or anything for the YouTube, but it does make you more relatable with them. And a few of them will ask, when are we going to see your merch? And that's, I try to fly under the radar at work. You never want to be the person who it's your name that's always in the authority's mouth. You want to be like, okay, I know I can count on that guy. He only comes to me whenever he absolutely can't solve the problem himself, blah, blah, blah. And I just have a feeling that if these kids are walking around and it creates some kind of any type of disturbance, then I don't want to get in trouble. I have a degree to teach. YouTube is for fun, even though, you can make some extra money off of it and stuff. But
I had this picture in my mind of a bunch of students buying your merch with your face on it, walking down the hallway, and then the principal or whatever, seeing all of that, and then calling you into his office like, "What is this?" And is that the reason you haven't made merch?
No. Well, that is kind of the reason. Yeah, that quality control, and I'm pretty lazy. But I'll tell you something that's this happened, and I was so embarrassed. This happened at work. So you have to go to these meetings as a teacher, and some of the meetings are for like they're like special ed type deals. So the kids have certain education plans where they get some kind of accommodation, whether it is double time on an assignment, or they get extra restroom breaks, or they sit in a low distraction area, or they need to be reminded to be on task, whatever. And they need so many people to go to these meetings. They need like a classroom teacher, guidance counselor, school psychologist, a special ed teacher. There's like a bunch of people. And so you're required to go to so many. And I went to one, and nobody knew that me and the parent that was there. So the dad, or the guy taking care of the kid, and the kid was there. And then this one was the only one I've ever been in, I'm pretty sure, unless I'm misremembering, the only one I've been in where my head principal happened to be in there too. And so usually you don't have to deal with the head principal very often, so you want to stay in the good graces. Well, we were in there, and we go through the meeting and stuff. And the guy, I knew him from church, and I talked to him a little bit because I was at this like men's group that our church had, and it was all like guy support stuff. And so I talked to him about backpacking, and he had done, a lot of the Sheltoe. And then we got into this meeting, and nobody knew that we knew each other, and we didn't have any small talk or anything because there's so many people in there. And then out of the blue, at one point, he starts like making jokes about like me having a YouTube channel, or like everybody knowing who I am, and like I'm regionally famous or something like this. I don't remember exactly what he said. And I was so embarrassed because my head principal was in there, and I don't want it to look like it's a distraction.
Right.
Sure.
I
want to be professional at work.
Tell me, there was an instance where your students, or some of your students, did they make a YouTube channel called Mr. Stringer's Left Leg or something like that? I remember something.
It wasn't the leg. It was a little bit more explicit.
I'm trying to keep it family friendly.
It was close to the left leg. It was attached. But yeah, well, you used to. I probably talked about it more at school, maybe with the kids and stuff, especially when I was first starting out. You're super, super excited. You're dying to edit videos, and the kids are, they're really buying in and stuff too. And you're just like, at one point I'd done a 30-day challenge where I uploaded a video every day for a month. And, if you're going to be doing something that much, then it's just going to like kind of flow out of you, passionately. And I think I got a few more trolls, from the school, because they would make these fake Google accounts. They still do stupid stuff like this. They'll take my professional picture, and then they will save it as their profile picture on their school Gmail account. And so then, like, in all the Google Classrooms and stuff that we use, it'll be a picture of me, like in a sport coat or something, as like, John Smith or whoever
That's
fantastic. They like to troll, dude. They're teenagers. You talk about 14, 15, 16 years old. Yeah. Your memory serves you correctly, Chris. I think I still got screenshots of the comment.
That was like years ago too.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Well, I mean, you kind of go from doing gear reviews, but then you started a series that you did for a little while, and I really enjoyed it. It was called the Hiker Network.
Yeah. I remember this. Oh, wow.
This was actually one of my. Look at that beard.
Yeah.
But this was actually one of my favorite series that you did. Yeah, let's play the intro there.
Positivity, info, and knowledge. If you're new to the channel, my name is Jeremiah Stringer, and here we talk about all things hiking and backpacking. So if you're into that kind of thing, you might as well subscribe to our channel. Now on this channel, we do a lot of things, but the Hikers Network specifically is a series I do where I report different stories in the hiker sphere, and I like to promote other channels too. If I like what they're doing, I like for you guys to go check those out. So I love it whenever you guys like.
Yeah. I mean, that was a really cool series that you did. and you had like solid information, and it you know, it just kind of told you what's going on maybe with other channels, and you kind of maybe even discover some different channels about it. So what kind of led you to go with that? And was that your actual desk? I gotta know.
And why are you wearing a puffy inside?
Can
And
we
why did you have a mug that said dog mom?
Yeah, I started to say, can we look back at it like the freeze frame of the video?
Yeah, hold on. Yeah. I can do that.
Thanks,
fantastic.
producer Chris.
Doc Watson's beard comment. I love that.
Back to when the beard was majestic. Yeah.
Yeah, I love those glasses too.
Thanks. I still have those, the Wayfarer style. Actually, those are those are just downstairs. I try to keep all my old glasses. Sometimes you want to change it up. So I wanted it to be a mix between like fun, spoofy style and actual like meat you can chew on, stuff that I thought was interesting.
Yeah.
And will you rewind it so you could see the front frame?
The desk.
Thanks. Not to take over the show.
No,
you're
totally fine.
You're a dog mom.
Yes. So like I said, I wanted to be kind of spoofy, and I was trying to frame everything up and make it look like a news show, but for backpacking. So I decided to get my wife's. I had a dog dad cup too, but I broke it. So here I have my wife's dog mom cup, and I had everything written down I was going to talk about on that notebook in front of me. Had it all outlined. Not what I was going to say, but the bullet points, and then my computer, in case I needed to do anything on there. And then the background, this was just a random bedroom at my house, and I set up a folding table that we use for yard sales.
I love the 3-day pass in the background.
Yeah, that's the Red River Gorge.
Yeah.
There's a map of
that's awesome.
I think that might be the gorge next to me there, or maybe that's Big South Fork. Land between the lakes is to my left, right beside that poster board. Yeah, that strip of land. Yep. Might recognize that. I tried to collect, as many maps as I could. And
you got Michigan right here, and you've got a gear list above it.
Yes. Wow. Good eye, man. And, Miyagi, he hid stuff on that wall behind me. When he would come to my house, he would flip papers around and write his name on them and draw on them, or he would put his sticker in different places, just and then I'd film a video there, and he had little Easter eggs. But thanks, you could go ahead and take me off there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a fun little show I was doing.
It was. I really enjoyed it, but then we led to bigger things. All of a sudden, you got a partner and you started doing the backpacking podcast. So, what was that like in the beginning, and what were maybe your goals?
The backpacking podcast, it actually started because John and I were sitting around a campfire talking with some buddies, and they were, I think it was Jason that said, you guys could pretty much sit over there and talk to a wall, and you all had good chemistry, so. We decided to start that up, and I think John and I we're closing in on 200 episodes. We try to do an hour episode every week, and we try to be consistent. I think we've been doing it since 2020 or 2021.
Really? That long? I didn't know that.
Yeah. COVID really helped us because, everybody was at home during COVID and you didn't have anything to do but sit there. And so my YouTube channel grew, John's YouTube channel grew, the podcast grew, and it's just consistently, the audience has gotten bigger, but it's been really fun and interesting. Normally I'm really not a big fan of partnering with other people on things that are like a creative endeavor because you want the autonomy over it. And you also, when you go into business with your friends, oftentimes that turns out to be not great.
100%.
And I'm experiencing that.
I hope not.
No, I'm kidding.
John Kelly is who the co-host is, and I could not ask for a better partner in crime because that man is such a sweetheart. I can always count on him. He's one of the best people, one of the nicest people I've ever met. Love him to death. He's like a brother.
He's a good hype man too. He's very, very good at hyping a person up.
Yes, dude. He's fantastic. I mean, both of y'all been on the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you've experienced the love that is John Kelly. It's always just fun. You know, our
He's a
goal
magician.
is, yeah. Our goal is to always just have fun and hang out and just talk and have a conversation. Just pretty much what you guys are doing, you know, tonight on here with me. Our goal is to make people laugh and have fun and just enjoy.
Well, I tell you, you know, I do the one with Carlson, and we started ours around a campfire the same way, and I enjoyed doing this one with Jeremy because Jeremy is my hype man. Carlson not so much, but Jeremy, he hypes me up. So I enjoy doing this, you know. But
Yeah.
Brian, he just shows up and looks pretty.
Is that
Well,
true, Jeremy?
are you guys? Well, I don't know. So honestly, I just kind of started because I wanted to get better in front of a camera for webinars. So I mean, I was like, you know, I had a hard time with that, like with my job, because during COVID, that was kind of the same thing. All of a sudden, we're having these, you know, these online meetings all the time, and it's still going in that direction. But it's uncomfortable. It's like when you're doing YouTube videos, you're just talking to the camera. You don't have to worry about seeing who's looking back at you. But then all of a sudden you're trying to communicate. And I'm one that really needs like the body language to communicate with and kind of be there in person to kind of gauge or read the room. It was really hard for me. But then all of a sudden it's like, you know, why not try that? Because I got people I'd love to talk to, and you kind of miss certain people. And that's why I kind of started. I was only going to do like 6 episodes, but
Fast. The car was very fast. I don't know what to do with my hand.
Yeah. But honestly, I've actually had a good time doing it just the same. So, but you guys have had tremendous success and had great guests, and it's because of that chemistry. I mean, it's absolutely fantastic. And I'm not going to name names, but there's channels I thought, man, they're cool, but I don't know that I'd want to hike with them. I just don't know the personality conflict or whatever. Nothing against them. It's just, you know, I feel like I'd mesh with them on a trail. By the time I've watched you talk to them on your live stream, I'm like, I have got to hike with those people. It just, you really do a good job of like bringing out who these people really are when you engage with them. So definitely keep it going,
I really
man.
appreciate that. Thanks. Yeah. We don't have any plans of stopping anytime soon. We do like the live streams Monday nights, and where I'm a teacher, you know, I pretty much have a set schedule when my vacation is, just like, you know, it's the same vacation that your kids get. And a lot of times during those vacations, we'll have guests, but not do live streams, or maybe we'll just do me and John for 30 minutes or 45 minutes, but we try to do an hour and, you know, try to get some content out there, just have a good time. And we've been blessed to get some great yeses from some awesome guests. You know, even last week, Jeff Garmeyer, him and Jason are so fun. And, you know, Jason, I get to backpack with. Jeff, I only get to talk with like once a year, unless we're just texting. And I was so disappointed that I wasn't going to get to hang. But I also love UK. So what do? You know what I did?
There's nothing wrong with it. So let's talk. I mean, we've actually been going 40 minutes now.
Yeah,
so
it was like we can keep going.
Yeah. Let's get into a little bit of backpacking, because there's actually one trip specifically I kind of want to talk about, because it kind of fascinates me, some of the overseas stuff that you got to do. Tell us a little bit about the trip that you just did with Bridget, and how you discovered it, just how you got that rolling.
All right. Well, it begins with Bridget. Bridget is my wife, and we've been married for a while now, like 6 or 7 years. We've been together like 12 years. So she has been with me since I discovered backpacking, started doing YouTube, you know, and we've kind of grew in life together. And we decided before anybody knew COVID existed, that we wanted to do a backpacking trip across Spain. I think that I had showed her Dixie's videos, and I was like, this is really cool. You know, I'd heard of it and stuff, but I watched all of Dixie from Homemade Wanderlust. I'd watched all of her series. She had backpacked across Spain with her sister. And I said, Bridget, this would be like less of a traditional backpacking trip. Like, you know, in the States, typically whenever we'll go backpacking, you might go for a weekend or maybe for a week or longer, but you're not showering every day. You're sleeping in a tent. You know, it's like camping, but on the go. And I told Bridget that this trip would be, you'd sleep in a bed every night. You would get to shower every day. You wouldn't have to pack all your food. You know, you'd be eating at, you know, a hostel or a restaurant or something every day. And I was like, you don't even really have to carry a backpack, just like a day pack. She's like, okay, I could kind of get into that. And then COVID happened. And of course, the world shut down. So we couldn't go.
Yeah.
And then we were like, well, let's get serious about it. So like last year, it probably took us the whole year. We started saving money back because we wanted to do this trip and we want to get serious. So we saved back our money. And then a few months before, I booked us airline tickets and like the first 2 nights on trail and like a hotel in Paris for a few days before the trip. And I was like, okay, it's getting real now. And then we flew over and did like it's almost 1,000 kilometers, I believe. So it's like 600 miles or so.
Yeah.
620 miles, something like that. So we did over 500 miles. And it took us about 5 or 6 weeks, depending on how you count the rest days and the you know, when we arrived over in Europe, etc. But yeah, that's like the quick outline of how the trip came to be.
Nice. What was it that surprised you the most when you got over there? Like, how long was the Camino?
Well, you start, but it depends on the route that you pick. So like we picked the most popular route. And so the length was like 800, 900 kilometers. And once you reach the end, you're going to this church. So like the Camino de Santiago, it's in Spain, and people would travel and they would take these same routes and pilgrimage once a year. This is before cars existed. You know, so everybody would be on foot and they would walk once a year to Santiago. And, you know, they would go to this church, and I don't really know what they did there. I tried not to research it a whole lot because I wanted to be surprised by everything. And then since I've gotten back, haven't cared enough to research it. But, you know, there's a picture of us on our final day. Not technically, because we kept going because we walked to the ocean. But yeah, these people would take this pilgrimage, and actually there is the end, the very end of the trail. They call that the end of the world, Fistera. You know, that's us catching the sunset, and that is the last milestone. They call these milestones, and there's one of these every so many kilometers. Could be a half kilometer every 2 kilometers, but there's a shell that marks your entire path. I think on every route, but it was on our route. We took the French route and, you know, started right on the border of France and Spain. But yeah, you take this pilgrimage, and I can't really say what surprised me the most because it was kind of a culture shock whenever I got over there. Because some interactions, the people only speak Spanish. So like I had taken a year of Spanish in high school, and then I took a semester of Spanish in college. And then I did an internship in Ecuador for a month and taught at a bilingual school. And then I have been doing Duolingo for like several months before we got over there. And still with all of that practice, your Spanish is still trash. You know?
Donde es el baño?
Yeah. Where's the bathroom? So it was kind of a culture shock, you know. Sometimes you might be playing a little bit of charades with somebody to communicate, or you might be using Google Translate if you got cell phone signal or Wi-Fi. But the whole thing is really totally different than anything I've experienced in the States. And even like the buildings and stuff, they're really, really old, like older than I could sleep in a place that was older than the country that we live in. It was just, I don't know, just wild.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome. That had been like an incredible experience. Is there any other places that you'd actually want to go to, like maybe overseas? Any other trails that you're interested in doing similar?
I would do this one again if I had to pick. Like, if I could pick my trail anywhere in Europe, I would probably say I would either do this route, this exact same route again, or I would pick a different route, maybe like along the coast or maybe in Portugal or something. But yeah, dude, this kind of trip is so unique. It's kind of like the Appalachian Trail, but smushed into 6 weeks, and you are forced to build relationships with people. You know, well, I guess technically you're not forced to. You know, you can kind of be a hermit and not talk to anybody, but there's such a catalyst every day. You're experiencing the same things that you build a family. Like I finished with the same 10, 12, 15 people, you know, like a little core group, because you're all walking about the same distance every day, and you make kind of like a little trail family.
Did you find the culture over there more open to that, more open and more receptive to building relationships than say Americans, where we all keep to ourselves and we grunt at people or whatever?
I feel like my experience, it's not a big enough sample size to accurately say for sure.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, when I was in France, I mean, I'm not going back to Paris. It was dirty. The people were mean. Everything's expensive.
I hate Americans.
Yeah. Yeah. They didn't seem to like me. I don't know. For some
the fries
reason.
were terrible.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would say, Chris, you know, the people that were doing the Camino, they're similar to yourself. So they're into the same kind of thing. A lot of them are. Some of them are, I don't know, they're people from all walks of life. But if you're open enough to go and do something you've never done before for days at a time or weeks at a time in our case, then, you know, you're usually pretty open to building relationships. And I feel like at least communicating with other people and not being like super standoffish if somebody asks you for help or asks you a question. But it was really easy to build friendships. And one of the guys that was in our trail family, it was his 4th walk. So he's done it so much that he kind of has a feel of the different places to stay. So he gave us a lot of good advice, but also he's fallen in love with the culture of the Camino, you know? So, you know, some people, they get so passionate about it, they want to go back and open their own hostel or, you know, do some kind of trail magic or what have you.
Very cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think to me, it's like that would almost be more intriguing than like the Appalachian Trail. You know, I think like maybe going overseas and doing something like that, and even Scotland or Ireland, as long as I don't fall in, what is that, the peat moss pits that swallow you up like quicksand or whatever. Have you heard of that?
Is that in Scotland?
Yeah. I think actually they just had. Well, I don't think they just had, but they literally, was it in Scotland, Chris? You'll probably know this. They found a body in peat moss, and they thought it was like preserved. A recent murder, but it was like centuries old.
Yeah,
like it was insane because the peat moss actually preserved the. Can you find that?
I'm looking.
Okay, but yeah, some farmers, I think it was Scotland, came across this body that came up in the peat, and they thought it was like a recent murder, but it's so well preserved, it was like ancient. But somehow it made it look like it just recently happened. So it's pretty crazy.
That's wild.
I did hear about that. And let me see here.
Is it fake news? He can't find it.
No, I think
who made this up?
I think no, this is like a legit thing. I because I remember my brother-in-law is he's a doctor, and he like there was a huge study into this. Yeah, it's 2,000 years old.
No.
Something. Oh,
2,000
no, there's 2,000 bodies that they found.
Oh, 2,000 body? What? That's crazy.
In the bogs, yeah, in Scotland.
CNN.com.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But
I don't know about the Toland man. Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think that is it, actually.
Human sacrifice to ensure fertility per the Smithsonian.
No, really, just put on some Barry White, man. Jeez.
Yeah, took it a little far, didn't they?
Yeah, they're taking it a little serious.
But
I can't find the actual one, but I think it was called the Toland man.
Yeah, I think you're right. But it was someone that was murdered. They just were murdered in that bog and then they were preserved. Something about, I forget what the science is behind it, but it was like a huge breakdown of how the peat preserves because it's low oxygen and all this other crazy stuff. But it was pretty fascinating.
Was it?
But I don't know.
Bigfoot and Darwin, and I feel like there were some other guys that went like a sea to sea in Scotland. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about as far as them doing it, but I've heard of it before. Like, just to me, that would be the coolest thing. Like, if walking through the villages and stuff like that, and just kind of being part of the community and the culture. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. And I don't know, there's something about me. I mean, I haven't done a 23andMe, but I almost feel like I'm from Ireland or Scotland or the British Isles. Could be this flaming red hair.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I say you're probably pretty accurate.
I don't know. I just feel like it's in me that I'm from some area in that same kind of strip, that same, somewhere around that latitude. I'm not really sure up there.
I'd say you're pretty accurate. Well, I want to do a giveaway real quick, and I'm going to need everybody to put this in the chat. So, Chris, can we have a word that everybody can put in the chat, and then we're going to do a giveaway. And what I'm going to give away is one of Tanya's soaps and a Polar Jammer. The only thing is I need you guys to be able to contact me with your address on Instagram. So if you're not following me on Instagram, go to ATOD_16 and make sure to hit me up for your address as far as the winner. But Chris, what is our magic word going to be?
So first of all, we need to reiterate that the soap is not used. It's brand new.
Well, I'm not guaranteeing that. I'm showing the new one, but I might give him the one I've been using.
You're going to give him one with your mojo on it, are you? Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So the word is going to be Gonex, Gonex, all capitals, Gonex, Gonex, in celebration of our guest here. We love Gonex.
Allegedly. I never put Gonex in a video. That was the Shield Brothers.
I know.
Was it really?
Yes.
Okay, so what is the story behind that? I thought Gonex actually, and this is me as a really good friend or like fairly close friend to you, that I thought you actually did something with Gonex, or you were going to work with Gonex.
I did do something. I'll keep it brief here. I went backpacking with the Shields, and at the time my YouTube channel was fairly young, but when people like message me, these whatever it is, Chinese companies, or if it's a legit company, typically I'll respond with, if you're wanting to send me free stuff, awesome. I can't guarantee it's going to go in a video, but if you want to send it and it's good, then a lot of times it'll appear in a video if I like it. And so I think I sent something along the lines of that to a company, and they mailed me a backpack. And I said, well, let's see if this backpack sucks. So I packed it up and I went backpacking at one of your like 2 or 3 locations in Indiana. I think
one
it was
of our 2 or 3 locations that we have available.
No, maybe it was Ohio. They're Ohio guys, aren't they? I bet this was
Ohio.
Zelensky.
Yeah.
One of the 2 to 3 spots in Ohio that you can also backpack. So we went backpacking, and I didn't do a video at all for that trip. And I do remember on that trip explicitly, we were sitting around a campfire right next to a tarp, and it was raining, and I was the only one sitting on the ground, and everybody else was in a camp chair. And I said, never again. I'm never again sitting it was like 40 degrees, rainy, and we were all huddled under a tarp right next to a fire. But anyway, they put that in a video, and I don't know, we done one of their, is it backcountry BSing?
Yeah.
That they do?
Yeah, the Chills.
Yeah, we did a live stream with them, me, Jason, the Shields, and then whoever the other guy is. I can't remember his name. It's been years since this happened. And I guess we talked about it on that live stream, and then it took on a life of its own from then on out. Somehow I was the Gonex guy.
You're the Gonex guy.
Fantastic. That's fantastic.
I enjoy the fact that you said Chinese company or legit.
They're not synonymous, are they? Made in the USA, baby. I'm very patriotic.
Those emails only come at like 3 a.m.
Right.
Yeah. Right about what time they clock in over there, and 3 a.m. here. We know how to tell time here.
Yeah. So
once again, guys, real quick, put in the chat, Go Next, all capital letters. We're going to do a quick giveaway here. It's going to be the new Seeking Sasquatch soap, available on Tanya's Etsy, which we'll put the link in the bottom in the description as well on this. So we got limited amount right now, but she does have more coming. So, but definitely be ready for that. And then we're also going to throw in a polar jammer as well too.
Okay.
All right. Let's do this.
Pow. 600. This ought to go quick.
And it is.
And Jerry.
Tangent Trails. So hit me up on Instagram, ATOD_16, and let me know your address, and I will be sure to get that shipped out to you. So very cool. I'm telling you, the soap smells spectacular. So awesome. Cool. Well, Jeremiah, dude, it has been amazing talking to you, buddy. So I always enjoy our conversations, and I'll tell you this much: the school that you're teaching at is lucky to have you. You're an old soul that has true wisdom at your age, and you are truly a good example for those youth. So thank you for what you're doing in those schools as well too. So, but if you hang out wait a minute. First off, I'm sure everybody knows, but why don't you tell everybody to get a hold of you and all your social media and all that other fun stuff?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel, Jeremiah Stringer Hikes, and that is, or as normal people say, Jeremiah Stringer Hikes. My phone, even when I click the voice to text on my phone, like earlier, I tried to search As the Crow Flies Hiking, and it changed it to As the Crow Hockey Game. Not joking. Don't even know where it got it from. So it's hikes, as in hiking. So Jeremiah Stringer Hikes, and
and this is Chris doing this, by the way. I do not have control of my laptop. FYI for everybody watching.
That's what they all say. But yeah, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all everything is Jeremiah Stringer Hikes. And then of course we already talked about the backpacking podcast. So if you want to, check that out on any platform, including YouTube, to see the video version.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. So Chris, you got anything coming up?
We have me and Brian. We have we're doing a hike on the 18th. The guest that we recently had that wrote that book, we're gonna go find one of the places that book Hoosiers Hidden Hikes. We're gonna go find one of the that he found, and we're gonna camp out way off trail, and that's about all I got right now.
That's all. No, that was a great episode. So if you haven't checked out Campfire Cat Hole's episode with what was the name of the book again?
His name is Tim Stoops, but the book's called Hoosier Hidden Hikes. It's okay. He highlights one of the 3 places that we have in Indiana to go hiking and backpacking. Apparently,
one of the 3. So. But be sure to check out that episode. This will be the last episode until after Thanksgiving for me. So Love Like Jonathan, we're actually, shout out to my family working on this. We're looking at feeding 140 families this year. That's so awesome. So we're super busy with that. So up until after Thanksgiving, I'm going to be, working with that whole craziness. If you ever want a opportunity to donate to a charity, also be sure to check out lovelikejonathan.org. So that 100% of the money that you donate goes to helping feeding families for Thanksgiving. So, and we just lost Chris. That's hilarious. I don't know where he just went.
I got excited. Sorry.
I'm glad he's back because I literally can't shut this down.
I got excited when you're talking about the Love Like Jonathan. Sorry.
Yeah. Awesome. But thanks again, Jeremiah. So I really appreciate you coming. So I guess until next time, see ya.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, man. See you guys.
Beep, 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 beep. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do your outro music.